What's up, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the broader markets. I'm break down some big news that came out that's very important and why there's going to be a lot of catalysts for market open, right? We have President Trump giving a speech and lots of pieces of news alongside Jerome Powell giving a speech later on. So I'll talk about when these things are coming out, how it may affect Tesla. Just know two things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link that's down below or use my QR code right over here to sign up. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're going to get $20 of free NVIDIA stock. If you deposit $2,000, you're going to get $50 worth of NVIDIA plus a $100 cash reward. Deposits $10,000 to get $300 worth of NVIDIA plus $100, or deposit $50,000 to get $1,000 of free NVIDIA plus $100. You're also going to qualify for an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon, so please use my link down below to sign up or use this QR code. Anyways, Tesla's looking bullish right now. We're testing 440. We have to hold above this to continue to push. If we do hold above this, we could be looking for an attempt to retest the high here. But if Tesla rejects here, we could be turning back down to 435. Now, as of right now, Tesla is looking a bit more bullish after a lot of news came out. Piper Sandler analysts are expecting a $500 price target on Tesla, which is bullish. There was also news that came out that Tesla has successfully fended off proposed environmental regulations in Nevada late last year that would have applied more stringent rules on its battery production operations. And we saw something very similar happen, at least very, very recently. And then on top of this, there's been some more talk about Elon Musk and President Trump once again forming a relationship. As you guys know, before, right, they were good friends, and then they had a big feud. And then at Charlie Kirk's memorial service, they were once again together, shaking hands and speaking with one another. And, a lot of investors turned very optimistic when they saw that. So that's another catalyst that's helping Tesla to some extent. But the question is, can we continue to push higher, to push for 444 plus, or do we get some kind of rejection? Honestly, guys, it depends on a couple of factors. We have three catalysts in the morning and we have one in the afternoon. So that's four things affecting the way the market's going to move. Let's start off with what they are. So today's Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. Bowman has been giving a speech at 9 o'clock a.m. I think they're about to start their speech. But at 9:45 a.m., okay, this is the first catalyst. We have the S&P Global Composite Manufacturing and Services PMI data at 9:45 a.m. This could cause some volatility, so be ready for volatility when this comes out. This might cause a big move, possibly to the upside, but we'll see just to be safe. So expect volatility at 9:45. And then President Trump is addressing the United Nations General Assembly in New York City at 9:50 a.m. on Tuesday. Sometimes when President Trump talks, he causes volatility. So at 9:50, President Trump is going to be giving a speech today. So that's about 20 minutes after the stock market opens. We have President Trump starting his speech. What he says might cause volatility, so be ready. And he says that he's planning to address a lot of the good and bad that's happening around the world. He's going to be talking about what's happening with, things involving Israel, with Russia and Ukraine, and the list goes on. So he might be saying a lot of important things involving geopolitics, might cause some volatility. Thirdly, at 10 o'clock a.m., then we have, Bostic from the Fed giving a speech and the Richmond Fed manufacturing and services data. So basically, the first 30 minutes of market open have a lot of things coming out. We have this data, we have President Trump's speech, we have more data at 10 a.m. So it's going to be kind of wild. We'll see if all this data in President Trump's speech causes any volatility. The market is flat right now, so we'll see about that. But for the first 30 minutes, there's quite a few catalysts coming out. And then finally, at 12:35 p.m., we have Jerome Powell giving a speech. So then Jerome Powell gives a speech in the afternoon. Jerome Powell is going to address a lot of questions about inflation. He's going to be speaking at an economic outlook event. And when he speaks, keep in mind that he might even address some of the things that other Fed officials have been saying. Bostic is saying that it's not expected to be cuts this year for the rest of the year because of the high inflation. But Jerome Powell said the opposite during FOMC. So if he holds the same view, he's going to likely talk about how they're going to take things on a meeting over meeting basis. But the Fed is still anticipating more cuts because inflation is expected to be dipping soon and unemployment does have upside risks, but that's what Jerome Powell might talk about. As you guys know, there might be volatility when he speaks, so be ready. Nvidia is going to be investing as much as $100 billion into OpenAI. That's some bullish news for the sector. And besides that, I'm not seeing anything else that's like way too crazy on the news. We're going to see if our odds of getting a cut go up or down. So we'll see about that as well. So for Tesla, it's very simple. Okay. We need to hold above 440. If we hold 440, we're going to be going for 444. But if we can't hold above 440, there's going to be a risk of us returning to about 435. And if that doesn't hold, we could be looking for a downside move. For now, I think that Tesla's going to try to go a little bit higher, but I think that we might be turning down a little bit. There might be some sideways price action like this, and we're going to see which way we end up breaking out. It could really go either way. But we were talking about yesterday how we were expecting 440 to be tested. Might go a little bit above it by a couple of points, come back down, just kind of consolidate for now. And then we have to see what kind of reaction we get. We have lots of data the first 15 and 30 minutes after market open. We have President Trump giving a speech at 9:50 a.m. So will this launch Tesla higher, cause a dip? Typically, these things do cause us to go a bit higher. So hopefully we try to hold above 440 and continue. But even if we go a bit higher, we might kind of like turn down and shuffle for some time. So I do see a risk of that happening to Tesla. So watch your levels just to be safe and be very unbiased. The market is currently completely flat. It's like a pancake. It's not really moving right now. To be bullish, all the data has to come out, President Trump's speech and such, and we need to see SPY break 667.5. If that breaks, we're looking for 668 plus and 670. If we're bearish, you want to see us lose 665. If that fails us, we could be dipping all the way back down to 663. We are favoring a test of new all-time highs. We're going to see if we break out higher or not, depending on President Trump's speech and the data. So the upside does look a little bit stronger, a tiny bit more probable for new all-time highs, but we'll see just to be safe, at least right now. The QQQ is also looking a bit more bullish. Now, if we're bearish, you want to see us lose 600 to start dipping lower. If we're bullish, you want to see us hold above 603 to push for 605. As of right now, we're favoring 605 to go a little bit higher, but then we're going to see if we turn down later on, depending on Jerome Powell's speech. The IWM does look a bit more bullish, favoring 245 plus as long as we don't lose 242. ES is favoring upside, favoring 6750 or above as long as it holds. 6770 could be coming next afterwards. So for now, there is upside potential. So just keep that in mind. I think we're still holding up well. NQ is looking a bit more bullish. If we lose 24,900, we're going to be turning back down, but 25,100 looks like it could be tested. Bitcoin's looking bullish. We have a nice accumulation right here, so it could be retesting 113,500. Tesla looks pretty good. It could be looking for 440. If we break this, we could be going a bit higher, closer to like 444, but then we might kind of consolidate in this range, like I said earlier. Nvidia is dipping a bit. It might retest 180. We need to bounce off that, so be careful with Nvidia. Might dip another point or two. Apple might retest 252.5. If 255 does not hold, and we need to bounce near there. Might see a small dip, so hopefully we try to bounce on tech. AMD is looking bullish, favoring 162. It looks like it might push a little bit higher upon open. Palantir is looking decent, could be looking for 184 plus. Coinbase looks like it might be retesting 337. Amazon might be pushing for essentially 228 to 230. Meta might retest 771. Google might consolidate and slowly push for 255. As long as we don't lose 251, we're looking a bit more bullish. And Microsoft is going to be favoring 517 for now. The VIX is gapping up, but notice that this might dip a bit because I mean the market's about to push higher and break all-time highs again. We'll see about that. We're still looking a bit more bullish, and this could also benefit Tesla to try to break out for 440. If that breaks, we could be going back up to the high from yesterday, but I need confirmation first. And once again, be a little bit cautious. Don't be like, I don't have super high confidence about this move yet. I'm less decisive because once again, you never know what President Trump is going to say. You never know what the data will look like. So you want to be careful. So be cautious the first 30 minutes of market open with all this data coming out. And then at 12:35 p.m., we have the big guy, Jerome Powell, giving a speech. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Watch your levels and just know that Tesla does have potential to go higher, but watch your levels just to be safe and be cautious with all this data coming out. Have a good one, guys, and peace out.